Hey everybody, it's WUB Network here. I just wanted once again to thank everybody for 400 subs. I know it's a little late by now, but I had done the 400 sub Q&A. I'm a little sick today, but I'm still going to do this. So, I want to respond to all your questions as promised, so I put it in order. So whoever was the first one put theirs, which in this case was Sebastian Kukulon. He asked, if a underdog won a race, who will win? So I'm guessing, Sebastian, that you're implying this season in NASCAR, and I'd say it'd have to happen at a plate track, and there's three that pop right into my mind if there is something like that would happen. It would either be one of the front row motorsports cars, so Reagan or Gilliland. I mean, not Gilliland, whoa. Reagan or Michael McDowell. Or I could see Matt DiBenedetto as well. He had a lot of speed in the Daytona 500. So that's to answer your question. Next question from Annie Bar 5. Why are you called sports leader with less subs than ESPN? Well, I thought of an interesting answer to this to consider. For a sports leader, what are we a leader in? Virtual Racing Championship, Progressive Cup Series, Three-Man Basketball League, Virtual NBA, Virtual MLB. Does ESPN cover any of those? No. Next question. What inspired you to make this channel, the basketball leagues, and the Progressive Cup Series? So, I probably got a bunch of variations of this question, so if you ask that, I might bypass it, but I'll answer it right here. The Progressive Cup Series was inspired from the fact that I watched the Aflac Cup Series from back when I was 7, and I wanted to do them, so yeah, I started doing that. The basketball leagues, I don't know, the idea just came to me about doing something else other than the Progressive Cup Series, so I decided to do something like that. I always wanted to do a YouTube channel, and then when I had the time and I knew how to do it and I had a way to record, that's how the YouTube channel came. The Progressive Cup Series came after. Then the basketball leagues, that I wanted to practice my play-by-play because that's what I want to go into when I grow up. And then the Virtual Racing Championship, I partnered with the person who has the next question, and that's Miss Craft, who said, could you tell us some of your inspirations and where you're going with this YouTube channel being a huge part of your life? It is a huge part of my life. The inspirations, like I said, Aflac Cup Series, Double E Cup Series, any of the stop motion series, anyone who does NASCAR video games, and I can't even name everybody. There are a lot of people. So, like, yeah, with being a huge part of your life, I mean, it is. And my plan with the channel right now is to try to keep things up. I'm telling you, it is going to get tough probably next month to get videos up because I'm also on my school golf team, so don't expect tons and tons of videos next month. May is going to be a busy month on the channel. Early June, I've got finals, so don't expect much for a couple weeks. And then, when the summer comes, it's going to be big on here for about 10 weeks. So, just expect a lot in there. Is there any other side questions thrown in here? Nope. Does this series have any connections to the real Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series from NASCAR Kumon Cup Series? Yes, I'd say. You know how I like do certain things that are kind of based on the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, but then there's just other drivers that I throw in. The success at tracks that certain drivers have is often compared to NASCAR, because think about how Kyle Larson won Auto Club, Kyle Busch won Bristol, Truex won at Sonoma. He's run well at road courses before, same for Kurt Busch. So, yes, there are connections to the real Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, but I don't want to completely copy everything that happens. That's what makes it fun. Do you think Harvick's dominance will have a negative impact on NASCAR? Well, this question was asked before yesterday when he wrecked out of the race, so I think it would have a negative impact, because I think part of the reason is that last year Martin Truex Jr. flat out dominated the series, and the races that he was just dominating by the end of the season, people were losing interest. So that's, I think it's good that he had a bad week, and honestly, I'm going to say it, hopefully he doesn't start winning a bunch of races in a row just to spread the love around, but it's good to see that all three manufacturers now already have a win. Which drivers will change next season? So I don't know what you mean by that. I guess I'm just going to answer it from real life with the Monster Energy Cup Series. I wouldn't trust that Jimmy Johnson's back for sure next year. I know you'd be shocked, but I'd watch out for Tyler Reddick or Allgaier. With the Lows ditching him and Jimmy Johnson not having that great of a season, I'd honestly watch out. Kurt Busch we know is going to be gone. I don't think though he's retiring from the series. I don't know. I could see him come back and run some races. He's the type of person who I think is going to slowly fade away. Aside from that, I don't think next year's going to have as many big changes as this year had, because there's a lot of drivers locked into contracts for this year and next year, and then it's the off season between 19 and 20 when I think Kyle Busch's contract expires. Larson's is up with Ganassi. Truex's is up. Like, it could be crazy. Mr. Crab, no, this is Patrick. What does WUB stand for? Came up with this when I was like 6. Westinghouse Universal Broadcast. Okay. For how long have you desired to do this? And if you had another sport on your channel, what would it be? I've wanted to do a YouTube channel for a few years, and then I finally started it last January. If I were to do another sport on the channel, I don't know, because I'd have to be inspired to do some sort of a league involving it. And I guess hockey. I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough decision to make. This was my favorite question from Negative Alex 88. But going back to Tim Hortons Cup Series quickly. I prefer just sticking with these 4 for now, but who knows? That could always change. If you had enough money for your own NASCAR team, name 4 drivers you would add for the team. Okay, so I can take any 4 drivers from NASCAR and build a team. So, first one I'd take, I would build this entire team around Kyle Larson, because I think he's going to keep getting better and better. I think he is definitely a championship threat for years and years to come, and I think he's going to be in a better team at some point anyway. I don't like him, but Kyle Busch right now is still in his, probably got at the very least 5 more good years ahead of him in the series. I'd take Larson, Busch, Harvick as the veteran. And then I'd want one more young gun to build around. And I'd have to go with Austin Dillon, because I think he's definitely going to start to improve. The last 3 years have all been good. 2 years ago, he almost made it to the round of 8. Or did he? I don't know, but he made it very, very close. Then the year after, he wins the Coke 600, and now he's won the Daytona 500. That means he can come up in big spots. I think that's going to be pretty good. Caleb Marinelli asked, do you have plans to improve your racetracks or have new tracks? First part of that, I am not artistic whatsoever, so I really don't have any plans to improve my racetracks per se and get rid of just using the blocks. I know I use the little felt for the short tracks. I might use that a little more, but honestly, I'm not going that much further above and beyond. As for new tracks, yes, I'll consider it for the future. I already have the whole schedule set for next season. And while we're on the subject, let me just tell you what my plans are right now. So, Martinsville is going to be out this Sunday. Yonkers should only take a week or 2. Should probably be out a little after Easter. Then, we've got 5 races left in the season. Tiburon shouldn't take very long. That should be out within 2 weeks. So we're at about April 20th. Talladega, I'd budget 3 weeks for. So we're saying May 10th for that, around then. Of course, these are just like sporadic dates that I'm not completely sure on. Texas and Phoenix, let me just combined budget about 5 weeks for that. So I'd say about June 20th. Charlotte, it's going to end around the 4th of July. And then you can say probably around mid-late July is when the new season begins. So that's what the plan is right now. Alright, a few questions. How do you make the voiceovers? Okay, so my dad has a recording studio in our basement that he uses for his nationally syndicated radio show that he built himself about 10 years ago, and it's really great. So we use this editing software for voiceover stuff called Cool Edit Pro, which is now called Adobe Audition. I mean, this is very advanced stuff. I think I probably, voiceover-wise, have the most advanced stuff, because last time I heard a copy of Adobe Audition, which is what Cool Edit Pro is now called, because I had to get it from my high school radio station from local radio station owner because it was so expensive to buy on our own and it wasn't in the budget. It's over $300 for that editing software. So that's how I do it. I'm blessed to have that opportunity to do it that way, at least because I know technically the way I do my races themselves are not really high tech in my streams, but at least for the voiceover, for the stuff like that, that's good. How'd you make the name for the channel? I've told the story millions and millions of times. I've kind of mentioned it, that I was into it when I was like 6, and I used to go play wiffle ball with my dad, and then I'd have to do the post-game show in the car, and then I'd say we'd be on WUB Network. Will this ever be a sign-up series? I do not like doing sign-ups, so no. When will I get my own car? Well, there is a long, long waiting list, Mike Fox, so we'll see. Do you watch the NHL? Once in a while, I get into it during the playoffs, but in the winter, I'm more focused on watching basketball, and the second half is I focus towards the Super Bowl and NASCAR and baseball. Will you do the Tide Pods Challenge? No. Also, who is your favorite sports commentator? I also like this question because there are a lot. It's a very tough decision. There's a lot of good people that I can choose out there that I look up to. My favorite one, though, I gotta go with Mike Breen, though. If you don't know, he's the Knicks announcer, so I see him all the time, and like on TV, but he also does the all the NBA games on ESPN. I like him a lot. Matt Vasgersian, Gary Cohen, who's the Mets announcer, Ed Cohen, no relation to Gary. I'm friendly with him, and he just recently got the job as the radio announcer for the Knicks. And I like Mike Joy. Rick Allen gets on my nerves. Adam Alexander makes me want to bang my head repeatedly against a wall. Okay, Kyle Busch fan 1. Do you have NBA Live Mobile? No, I don't. NASCAR DuPont for 20 forever. How long have you been into racing? Well, I first got into it, I'd say I got into it after I saw the Cars movie when I was 3 in 2006. But then I started watching NASCAR. The first time I really watched NASCAR was the 2011 Daytona 500 when Trevor Bayne won, and I've been into it ever since. What's your favorite NASCAR driver and basketball player? NASCAR driver, Martin Truex. I've said that many times before. I'm not a bandwagon jumper. I'm from Jersey. And that's that. Basketball player, I still like the Knicks a lot. Kristaps Porzingis, I like a lot. Another question, what leagues or series are you planning in the future? So this is when I talk about the future of this channel and what to expect in the next few months, because I told you the schedule of when videos are going to be. So, certain things have gotten scrapped. Obviously, that thing I was doing with the board game with the cars, that was way too time consuming, so no. The career mode on NASCAR Heat 2, I just wasn't really that into that, so that's gone. Stuff that we're still doing. MLB. When the MLB season starts, I'm working on the rosters. It's probably not going to start for this until, like, a couple weeks after the real season starts, but we will stream some games, and we'll do just like we do with the NBA, which I've kept up with consistently the entire season, every couple weeks, making a video with, like, the highlights, but you can expect another NBA one in a few days. 3-man basketball league, that didn't die. It came back the other day. I'm going to do the last game probably in the next couple days, possibly even today. No guarantees on that. As soon as that ends, we're going back to that Shutty Basketball League thing and finishing that up. And I'm pretty much going to alternate 3-man basketball league, Shutty Basketball League as my other side project that I put up every couple weeks. And then expect the NBA and MLB when their seasons go on, the Progressive Cup Series, and of course the Virtual Racing Championship. Pepsi, Sprite, I hate any sort of cola. If I drink any soda, it has to be Sprite or Sierra Mist. Honestly, I like both equally. Monster Energy Cup Series, Xfinity, or Camping World Truck Series, which is one of my favorite questions, because obviously a lot of people would be like, Monster Energy Cup Series, that's the #1 series. Monster Energy Cup Series I like, but sometimes it just gets on my nerves, especially when there's one driver flat out dominating. Which is why I like the Truck Series a lot. I like the truck races. There's always a lot of competition. The last couple of years, Kyle Busch is not necessarily dominating these truck races. improved. I like that there is still some consistency, that Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter and people like that are always in the Truck Series. Not as many Cup drivers race down there, because then that's just sad. I like the broadcasts with Vince Welch. I still love the Cup Series and the Truck Series are equal. Xfinity Series is below that because I can't stand when a Cup driver ends up 6 seconds ahead of the field. I cannot stand broadcasts with Adam Alexander and Michael Waltrip. I'm sorry, and when they have to bring on a driver, I just can't stand that. So yeah, I still gotta say, I guess Cup Series because it's the main series, then Trucks, then Xfinity. Who will win the VRC? So Fisher, I think that you could have a chance. You've really gotten up there in speed, but right now, I gotta say it's gonna be between 3 drivers. And I'm not including myself because I was awful in the Daytona 125, which, by the way, will be uploaded with commentary in a few days. We're just getting the editing done, which is going to take a long time because the race was over an hour long for a variety of reasons. I say it's 3 drivers. Jarrett Talmadge, because he has just been so fast ever since he switched to Ford. Tyler McDonald, and since he won Daytona. And I'd watch out for Nick Barkham, who was new, finished second in the Daytona 125, just switched to Toyota. So those are the guys I'd watch out for. My dark horse, someone from the Chevy camp. Alright, so once again, thank you for participating in this. I don't know what I'll do for 500 subs yet. It'll be something, won't be a Q&A, it'll be something else. So thanks again for 400 subs, and I'll see you next time here on WUB Network.